to the I-80 Club after Nebraska football. Nebraska 59, Houston Christian 7. The non-conference season is done. Jack Mitchell has 2 beers, and he'll probably have a few more tonight. Live from his backyard ahead of the Bud Crawford fight. Jack, how are you?
Look at all these Husker beers. What world am I living in that I have not one, but 2 Husker-themed beers to choose from? We live in the future, Josh. We've made it. Congrats to us. We live in the world. Nebraska's wearing all red.
Oh, boy.
There's multiple Husker beers to cheer for, and I'm doing the show outside at the party of the century that you didn't come to. And I cannot wait to have a little post-game discussion after another ass-kicking.
Another ass-kicking. If you're joining us live tonight here on YouTube, thank you. Give us a like and a subscribe to our YouTube page. I'm Josh Peterson. That's my partner, Jack Mitchell. This is the 4th football season that we have had together inside of the I-80 Club. You can get so much more from us, from other pods, access to a great community, Discord server. Patreon.com/I80 Club is where all of that stuff can be found. There's always a lively chat going on, always debates on who is good and who is bad, and does Dylan Raiola have a strong arm? All of those things are available there. We have a bunch of stuff coming up over the next few days, Jack, including a Volleyball State live tomorrow night. There will be a Big Ten breakdown on Monday morning, and a little birdie is telling me that there will be a live post-game show for volleyball available for free on our YouTube page
on
in a couple of days.
There's a big game, though. After a big game?
After a big game.
You know this, but there is a rivalry between the 2 universities who are playing volleyball coming up this week. I don't know if you okay. I don't know if you had heard of that. I don't know if the Zone has heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, so that will be available coming up on Tuesday between Nebraska and Creighton, and then they'll be doing a volleyball late after that. We'll have I-80 live, all sorts of stuff.
The Volleyball State team is coming to my party.
Are they?
McMaster's coming to my party.
Okay, now I feel a little bad. Though, Jack, I'll be honest. I am absolutely fried right now.
Yeah,
I am so tired. I'm so tired. I am. Am I not allowed to be tired after a day of travel?
Sure. I get it. You've had a tough weekend of watching Indiana beat, I don't know, Indiana State, Larry Bird's team.
Yeah.
73-0. And
I did.
So yeah, I get it. We all get it. We get it. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, welcome in, everybody. Jack, how are you, man? How are you doing tonight?
I'm you know what, Josh? This might be an unpopular opinion. I am a little sad at the end of this portion of Nebraska's schedule.
Really?
I am enjoying the balls out of these Saturdays. Like, what could we get a game with Doan on Wednesday, maybe before we kind of move on to Michigan?
Worry. Northwestern is on the schedule, so like these days aren't done for good this year. These days aren't done for good.
I'd just like to kind of keep the rhythm going of these low stress. I call them low blood pressure Saturdays. It's great. It's wonderful. I went to the game, Josh. Yeah. Had a great time. Everything went well with going to the game. I happened to be sitting in a spot that was shaded for the first half of the game, which was nice. Oh, now it's a nice breeze out here, by the way. It's going to be a beautiful night.
I bet you smell pretty stinky right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been out cooking with the smoker too, so it's a variety of smells. I'll be honest. I was going to shower, but as you would imagine, I've been running like a chicken with its head cut off for the last 3 hours. So you know that.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah. D'Lo says, how were concessions?
I didn't eat anything. I don't like eating during games, so I didn't eat anything. My son got me a water. Wow. I mean, let's see. I got to be truly honest, though, Josh. I would be sort of lying if I was using the plebe concessions. We had club tickets in the East Stadium, so
not to brag.
And listen, they weren't mine. I had nothing to do with getting them. For the record, they weren't me pulling strings.
It was your son, wasn't it? It was Johnny.
It was. Yeah.
Look at that.
It was. Look, he and so the one complaint I have with that East Club area is there is a shocking lack of legroom there. There is a shocking lack of
because
anybody.
That's the new club area, like right. It's the meet the new seats, same as the old
the red.
seats.
I mean, it's seat backs, and that's great. So I'm not, up in the 98th row of South Stadium, so I shouldn't complain really. But
yeah, but they did no adjusting at all, none
whatsoever.
whatsoever.
But there's no leg room. Like it doesn't even. And I get it. I'm a big guy, but it's not about the top. It's about the legs. Like even you, Josh, would feel like you were tight in there. I think too. So
yeah, sounds pretty terrible.
Let's see. Cut Memorial. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Cut Memorial Stadium down to about 68,000. It's going to be a great experience for everyone. But that said, concessions were great. My son got some kind of brisket nachos that looked amazing. But again, this is a club situation up there. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed all of it. It was great. And then everyone left at halftime. So room to man spread. So nice. I mean, it was great. It was a delight. I have nothing bad to say. I say a lot of negative on these podcasts, right? Many have said nothing. I have a couple of things.
All right. I was going to say, Jack, we have been doing this, as I mentioned, this is our 4th year doing it. I cannot recall the happy mood for such a long extended stretch with Husker football since we have been doing this. We are in an uncharted territory, and we're about to leave this, and we are going to get into a big game week, and we will talk about that and the excitement and the pressure and everything that comes with the Michigan game. But man, just kind of soak in the last few hours of this feeling where it's just like, you got what you wanted in the first game. You got a 1-score win. It felt really good. And then you just get a couple of blowouts where you see an extended depth chart. And the thing that I really liked about this game, Jack, was, last week it got into the second half, and I was just like, oh, man, I want to see fewer starters. Today, I got exactly what I wanted. TJ Lateef took the first snap. Like, it was so funny. The announcers, whoa, what is he doing into the game? And it's like, it's a score.
They were?
Yeah, couldn't believe it. Oh, my gosh, TJ Lateef is on the field.
Really?
This is pretty incredible. Meanwhile, I was like, thank God we don't have to go through this. Emmett Johnson off the field. We don't have to go through this. Like, there was this weird, and I don't want to, pick on anybody because somebody might be watching or listening to this at a later date. Is Josh talking about me? And the answer is probably yes. But there was this weird discourse, I thought, over the course of this week of they're not going to do that. Why would they do that? Matt Rule wants to beat them by 70 again. And I'm like, no.
They did both. But they could do both. It was okay.
Last week was its own thing, and then I thought this week was get the starters in, go up by an insurmountable score, leave, see you later. And I was just so happy that they approached it exactly how I wanted them to approach it.
I did. But yet they didn't really. I didn't feel like they ever called off the dogs. Like Lateef was still passing. I mean, that bomb that who's that to? Cortez Mills. That bomb to him. I mean, they were still. I wondered if Houston Christian was going to take some offense to that one.
Yeah,
the play action bomb. I mean,
got to work on your reps, John or Jack. You got to work on your reps.
As soon as I was in there, I was like, oh man, 1996 Arizona State. Okay, or whatever year it was, when Bruce Snyder got very mad. But in any case, lot to like. But you knew there was going to be I'm not making any grand projections about anything based on this game. Again, that said, I still think it's okay to take joy, to take some kind of solace in the fact that they didn't play with their food, as you say, very frequently, right?
They did not.
And I mean, I think John said on your show, I don't know if it was the post game no, you were on the post game last week. He said at one point, he was like, I wonder if Houston Christian is better than Akron. Let me tell you, they're not. They're not better than Akron. Akron would beat this team.
Yes. They were both very bad teams. They were both bad teams. They were both bad teams in their own unique ways.
Batter team. Is a batter team. And
they were a smaller team is what they were, especially.
They were not physically ready for this. And again, they're a mid to lower level FCS team. So it's no surprise whatsoever. I'm not like, suck it, But Nebraska did what they should, and they looked like they should. And so, there's nothing you can do but hurt yourself in any of these games in terms of your perception or what you think about the team. They didn't do that. Did they make me feel better? I don't know. No. I mean, it was such a bad team.
They didn't make you feel worse, though.
They didn't make me feel worse. No, there has not been. In 2 weeks, there's not really been huge chinks in the armor that have shown up against bad teams. And everyone's like, well, they're bad teams, Jack. Yeah, well, I don't know how many times I have to say this. We've seen that happen. against bad teams many times, and it didn't happen. So I will take it. Speaking of just their size, you're right. Their size. I mean, in terms of the two lines.
It was
dude.
It showed itself immediately in the game, right?
Bad.
I mean, right away.
That offensive. I mean, very rarely do you go. Very rarely am I going to a game and I start to feel some sympathy. I felt bad for that offensive line because they would freak out when it looked like Nebraska was blitzing, or like they were so jumpy, and they had some real problems with. I mean, Numenary and McCullough are guys that they have not seen, that they do not see. Those guys, I mean, it really did make me appreciate. I think two things I take about that from this game are just how incredibly athletic those guys are. And I hope they can translate that into havoc, quarterback pressures, those sorts of things. This was not an appropriate match for them, but God, I freaking love McCullough. McCullough's going to become my favorite player on the defense, Josh. Like, I would have never guessed that at the beginning of the year. I love that dude.
How about the fact that was Nwaneri's first ever touchdown? Did you hear that from Rule in the post game?
I heard that. Did he not? There's no way that kid didn't play wide receiver in 8th grade. There's zero chance that guy was some middle school coach wasn't like, because how tall did he have to be at that point?
Seriously.
Did you see him up at the podium? That guy's arms and leg, he has got the longest legs I've ever seen.
Oh, no, I did not.
Just like he has got just I'm trying to say this without sounding super weird. Like, he's got like a super unique body.
Yeah.
And I said, that's a compliment.
It is always awkward to talk about like those types of things, those types of words. Like, what exactly are you supposed to say about a player? He's massive. Like, he had the ball and he was kind of waving it around. I was like, oh my gosh, is he about to get Leon-leaded on his way to the end zone?
Here I am sitting with my son when Nebraska's wearing all red, and I was channeling my late father when Nebraska, well, I guess they weren't wearing all red when Mickey Joseph played, but my late father yelling at Mickey Joseph to tuck the ball in when he ran. They're like, tuck the ball because Don Beatty's coming behind you, Leon. You got to get that thing in. And
I was seriously worried that he was going to have it stripped. Dude, I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to happen. But then
that dude was flying. I had a great angle on it. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, it's going to be close. My brain was doing these fast calculations, AI style. And it was like, oh man, it's going to be about a foot or so from the goal line that he's going to, and he got to him. And then he like corners him. I don't believe he didn't get a penalty for this. He like corners him up against the fence and just talks to him for doing it. I kind of felt bad for the guy. I was like, that was a pretty good hustle, actually. Like, you should have just tucked the ball in. It would have been okay.
Yeah. And so that is among the many plays that Nebraska has go in their direction. You said you had a couple of critiques. What are the critiques from the game? I know that's why people are coming to the pod. They want to hear you.
They want to hear the negative. That's what they're here. Yeah. Rip it.
Yeah. What are the things? What are the negative things?
It's not a critique, but man, I wish Dylan would have hit that deep ball.
I know, man. We thought about you.
Josh, I almost texted you the moment, but the internet sucks at Memorial Stadium, so I couldn't. I actually was going to, but the internet's terrible there. And
we had literally just spent 5 minutes talking about it on the post-game show.
And then it made it worse. And you know what makes it worse? TJ Lateef. Freaking! I'm not doing. Okay,
here we go.
Calm down, everyone. I can already see people typing in the Discord. Oh, you saying
question mark?
No,
quarterback controversy? Question mark?
Man, it was the same amount of openness on those two plays, which was a shitload of openness.
I believe that's the scientific term.
I haven't seen the one where Cortez Mills. I haven't seen that dude open so much since Tracy Wistrom. Jamal Lord ran the same running play 85 times in a row, and then one time they popped Tracy Wistrom out. That's what that reminded me of. Oh my gosh.
What a reference.
P2. Yeah, that's what both of those plays looked like. But Dylan's was short again. Josh, I will say it. I don't know if I said this to you this morning or to someone else today. Dylan has unbelievable touch on patterns that are parallel to the goal line, but if vertical, perpendicular to the goal line, he does not have that touch. It's a weird thing. Like, he's got some of the best touch and like putting in the right spot over people's heads when people are running horizontally, but vertically he doesn't have that same thing. Have you noticed? Does that even make sense?
It does. It does. And like you were in the building, was it as windy as people were saying it was? Because that throw was into the wind. Because there was this media like, well, guys, it was into the wind. It was into the wind. It's because of the wind.
At one point, Johnny was like, it must be really windy down there on the field, because it didn't feel windy to us at all. But some of the as is typically the case in Memorial Stadium, you'll have two flags that look like they're in a hurricane, and on the other side of the field they'll be completely limp. So I think it was weird down there, maybe wind wise, but still, I just feels like he's not. I don't know what it is. Those I just want to see one of those, and then
I know.
I mean, and then like the other thing. Okay, this is me really reaching to critique. By the way, this is not like my first takeaway from the game, but
sure.
the other
quarterback
thing is
controversy question mark.
It was just when Latif got in. You're
actually doing this.
When he got it, he got a little pressure. And he escaped once, and I was like, whoa, I forgot quarterbacks could move that fast.
Oh, my gosh. Jack Mitchell, running quarterback.
No, don't put it on. Don't tweet now. I don't want to see.
I
don't want to see any tweets. I don't have my phone. I don't have one window open. I don't want to see. When I get done, I'll be pissed, okay?
I actually tweeted at the I-80 Club account, quarterback controversy, ? And then I quoted that to you. I tagged you on Twitter. So make sure to go give it the old retweet so everybody sees it and joins the pod.
Other complaint. Jalen Gramstead, get that guy a pass get him a pass down there.
Once again, your dream and his, and the dream will never be realized.
Only ours, the two of us.
Yeah, and nobody else's.
And then I found out a weird thing that I had no idea. So Kenneth Williams, who's a running back who got stopped on that fourth down, he had a good run earlier in the year. He returns kicks too. He's from Lincoln, and he moved to Chicago.
Yeah.
He went to Morley with my son. Like, I know that. He was like, that's Kenneth from Morley. I was like, wait, what? That's Kenneth from Morley. Like, I know him. Like, I knew him in elementary school. He could play, like, and then he moved to Chicago and like became a really good high school. I think he went to Lincoln High maybe for 1 year. But we almost had a play where the guy from my undergrad alma mater gave it to my elementary school alma mater and scored a touchdown. And then I had a tweet ready. It was like, when was the last May Morley Elementary alumni to score a touchdown in Nebraska history? And I think that's a really good trivia question, but we'll never know.
Jack, you have very much upset one of our subscribers, Scott. And as always, you can send us comments inside the ID Club Discord server or drop us a super on YouTube. You have to be effing kidding me. Is this what we are doing? Dylan has been phenomenal, but because Latif has been fine against awful teams, people want him. Jack, your thoughts?
I don't think I said I want him. Did I say that?
I don't think so.
Could you rewind the tape for Scott?
He could just do it. He could just do it on YouTube.
Scott, would you go back and maybe listen again to what I said?
So should we all pause right now? Give it like 4 minutes.
Yeah, give Scott a minute to go re-listen to that and then maybe reevaluate what he has. I do not. Goodness sakes. You asked me the question like I was really impressed with Latif again. Like Michael Severe gave me some crap on 16. I don't know if he gave me crap. That's probably unfair. But like we went through all the what was it, like the freshmen, and like who do you think of these guys is going to make the biggest impact, or who you're most excited about their career? And I said Latif, and he was like, I don't even think he'll be here.
Wow. People have really been doing that, man. Like people have been really talking up the Latif and I was like, is going to transfer.
I mean, listen, I've seen him. I haven't seen Dayton Raiola in college. I haven't seen the kid from Illinois. I haven't seen those guys. I've seen Latif, and like I am comfortable with him being the backup quarterback right now. So but let me repeat that. The backup quarterback. Good Lord.
Yeah,
people want to get mad about where are we as a society? Everybody wants to get mad.
By the way, thanks to Mike for dropping us a super. There's no comment here. He did put two around it. It's like a super chat sandwich, Jack. So I'll put up the other comments. He did attend LHS for a time, and then he adds, "I want him," quoting Jack Mitchell. I want him. I don't know. I thought everybody knew that you were having fun with TJ Latif. Obviously, nobody wants him to be in over Raiola.
I don't know if people know this. I'm a quarterback depth guy. And Josh is not.
Jack.
Josh is not. So
famously,
not interested. He'll pass. He'll take up just a pass on quarterback depth. I in contrast like quarterback depth, and so this makes me happy.
So 2 times, Jack, I thought about you today. The first was the deep pass that missed because I thought, wow, How many times must we have this conversation about how we want him to rip it, and then he never does? And then the other time was late when I was thinking, this has to be Jack's dream, where the backup quarterback is objectively a good player. And right now, if the unspeakable were to happen, you would not be in a, the fetal position and in a complete wreck like we would have been a few years ago.
Then we've had several times.
You wouldn't feel great, but you would not feel terrible. And that is like the highest compliment that you can pay the backup quarterback position.
And to push back on what Scott said, it's weirdly like, it's a weirdly great situation because no one thinks Dylan Raiola is on the hot seat. He's one of the best statistical quarterbacks in the country right now. I don't think so at all. Correct. Goodness sakes. I'm not saying that. So don't act like I'm saying that. But
yeah, don't put it on the internet.
This is a weird situation where you can have a backup that you're, interested and excited about, but there's no fan sort of like uprising. That rare, like, when does that ever happen? I was talking to Kyle Kirk's a play-by-play guy about this with Latif, and we were comparing it to Florida last year with Lagway there all the time, and what's his name from Wisconsin starting, and like the minute he makes a mistake, everyone is starting to say, "Oh, I wonder about the backup." Right? We saw with Joe Daly. Goodness sakes, Jamal Lord and Joe Daly.
I don't know how much you watched the Texas game today, but I have to imagine they were having the conversation down in Austin
everywhere.
Yeah.
And very rarely do you have a situation where where you're confident in the backup, but there's not any hint of a quarterback controversy. And as a quarterback depth guy, like, that's ideal. That is the greatest situation possible. I love that they're finally in that situation, and that rule is building at that position too. So yeah.
Now I would say this, like, there's a world where people are still demanding of the backup quarterback at some point in time this season. I don't want to pretend like we're going to live in a perfect, rainbows and lollipops world for the rest of the year.
I'm not close.
Hey, for the record, I am not either. I think any rational person is nowhere near that. I'm just saying, like, the backup quarterback is always the most popular player.
Like I'll say again, I mean, look at you got to get Dylan off of the top 5 charts for like 3 quarterback stats before you do that, right? Like, that's ridiculous. He's he's been unbelievably efficient. He's not turning the ball over. Yes, I want to see a long ball thrown, but I do not take that as my overall, like, the vast, huge part, the super majority of my evaluation of him.
Yeah, D-Dub says that is a great point. Confidence in number 2 quarterback without a controversy is almost a non-existent utopia. Yeah, seriously, that's like NFL.
When do you see it? How rarely do you see that? I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, maybe an NFL situation. That's a good point.
By the way, Royals Girl brings up something completely unrelated to this, but a former quarterback. Can we please talk about Heinrich's block? Jack, was the block,
dude? I know exactly what you're talking about.
As loud on TV as it was, or was it as loud in person as it was on TV? Because holy shit. He cracked him so well. That was an awesome play call and an awesome design.
Johnny and I were just like, whoa! And we didn't know who it was at the moment, and so we went back and watched the replay. It was hard. It was Heinrich Harburg. Native son is what I said. I screamed it. I was like, native son. Yeah, I screamed it into the East Club section.
Yeah, that was incredible.
It was a great block. Disappointment. Like, I do kind of wish they could get him involved somehow. I thought he would be more involved, I got to be honest, like in the passing game. And maybe he still is. It's not a
I mean, they're getting everybody involved right now, Jack. So, like, you don't really need him at this
point in time. Luke really wasn't. I mean, after that drop, I think he only had one other catch. That's that, man. Yeah. Dylan should have one more completion, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was brutal.
He owes his buddy a coffee or lunch for that one.
Cubsker Yard Geek drops us a super jack that says Raiola greater than Lagway ... light years.
Sure. I mean,
Years better than Lagway.
I haven't really watched a lot of Lagway. How are they? I don't even know how they're doing.
They're down, or they're up 3-0 rather as the first quarter comes to a close. Jack, like, we are one real nice performance away over Michigan from a variety of things. But one sneaky good part, or one sneaky underrated part about Nebraska beating Michigan and Dylan Raiola continuing to play well is going to be, like, you remember back in the old days of polls where Husker fans would take over the polls? Jack, I shudder to think of anybody who did a quarterback ranking this offseason and put guys like DJ Lagway or Mark Gronowski or anyone else above Dylan Raiola.
Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson. Because the receipts that are being kept on those guys, those writers, and those lists, gonna be rough for people if Dylan and the Nebraska offense plays well against Michigan next week.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm more confident than I have been going into a game, but I just don't know. Like I can't.
You talking about Michigan?
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth between like this is a different. Everything feels different. Everything feels different. Everything feels better. But I wonder what the passing attack's going to be like. I wonder what the pass rush is going to be like. Those are the two things, right? And I wonder what Nebraska's ability to stop the run is going to be like. I think, too, probably more than anything against Michigan. But and again, you got the defense obviously was just completely dominant, but a few plays, including the touchdown where you got a guy dead to rights in the backfield, right? And you don't get him down. They had a bunch of those against Cincinnati. It felt like too. It was like should be sacks or should be TFLs. They're gonna have to get those against Michigan when they get Underwood in the grasp or a TFL.
Am I an idiot for saying that like I'm not that concerned with the offense in this game next week? Like I am very I don't know how confident am I, because I think it's going to be a fairly low scoring game, like something in the 20s. But like I am pretty confident that Nebraska's offense is going to be able to make some hay next week and move the ball. I think that I have that type of trust now in Dylan Raiola, in the wide receivers, and certainly in Dana Holgorsen, and in the run game from Emmett Johnson. I just named like 1,000. I just named all of the parts of the offense. I have trust in literally names every part of the offense.
Like I think they will be able to stay on schedule from the 20 to the 20 in small to medium sized chunks.
And then
what I do wonder about, number one is if they need a big play, can they get it? And then number two, not even the red zone. It's like inside the 10. The first one again, it feels like the play calling should be easier there. And then they did get the touchdown where Dylan audibled on the Ja'Cory Barney touchdown. And it still felt even harder than it should be once they get inside the 10. Yeah. I don't know what the deal with that is. It's been so like you think of the times this offense has been stopped this year, Josh, like almost the vast majority of them have been inside of the 10 or 5 yard line. If you think of that, right? Cincinnati, right? The false start. And then against Akron, you had the fumble and then the Heine
push.
The Heine push that didn't work. And then the only time they were stopped today was on that first drive, stopped in terms of how to kick a field goal inside the 10 yard line. Like, I don't know what their percentage is if they have an actual snap inside the 10, but that is one stat where their offense hasn't been super efficient. And that's one that's been around for a little while. So that's another one where they're, I need to see that against Michigan too.
Man, our friend
go ahead.
What's up? I was just going to read some comments. Our friend Husker from MU has become, I'm not ever, at least I don't try to pick on somebody, or not pick on somebody, but like say like, whoa, why are you being so negative? Because like I was Mr. Negative for years around here. But he says, oh, Josh, we're going to play it so effing conservative. I thought you watched the Cincinnati game, and then adds, it's all about the red zone next week. That doesn't inspire confidence. Like, man, I don't know. I've come away from the last two games, and I know that they only put up 20 points against Cincinnati, but I've been impressed with their ability to move the ball for the most part in the early part of this year. And I'll keep saying it. I'm going to say it for the next week. I feel like the game is slowed down for Dylan. And so I go into this game. He has to lose my trust, I think, this week, Jack, versus gain my trust. And I think that's where I'm at with him. And that's certainly where I'm at with Holgorsen. Like, I don't know. I think they're going to try to keep doing what they've been doing the last couple of games. And they were doing all stuff against Cincinnati, and they moved the ball. Then things got bogged down a little bit for them in the second half. But I don't know, man. Like, I go into this game thinking the offense is going to have a chance to, I guess, surprise people that are still down or in wait and see mode with them right now.
I think listen, again, I'm not concerned about their ability to move the ball steadily, efficiently through the middle of the field. It's the red zone, and it's needing big plays that I hope they're able to get. I think they're gonna need those in these upcoming games, and so that's the thing that I don't know that I feel super confident. They obviously got big plays today. They got a lot of big plays today, and they had big runs against Akron. So, but those are the things. Can they do those against Big Ten defenses?
Sam writes, I like Dylan Raiola. I like the wide receivers. I like EJ, not sold on the offensive line, especially inside the 25. Like I said, I fear they're like my Raiders, where EJ has like 60 yards after contact, but only 55 yards. And they're going to be going up against, obviously, the most talented defense easily that they've played so far this year. But
in the offensive line's defense, Josh, there were probably 5 plays. I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback have as much time as Dylan Raiola had today.
He did, yes. And
I mean, it's almost shocking that he could not like create. I mean, the amount of time he had on a few of those passes, and they were dropping back into coverage, but those defensive linemen had no chance against the offensive line.
Yeah, and obviously they're going to be playing a much better offensive line this next week. Or defensive line, rather. They will not be playing them. And so then on the other side of the ball, that is the side of the ball that I am more worried about, where it's just, is the defensive line hold up? Are they able to stop the run? Like, you want to talk, Jack, about the last couple of weeks. What have and what haven't we learned? What have we not learned still is about the defensive line, and it was nice to see him get some pressure today. But I am still in the same boat as I was after the Cincinnati game, and that is concerned about that group, because now I need to see it again against a really talented one. All of my concerns were founded coming out of the Cincinnati game. Nothing has happened the last 2 weeks that can change that, because nothing was going to happen the last 2 weeks.
There's nothing that could have happened.
No. I mean, I guess if they got pushed around more, then I guess sure. Then I mean, really,
this
really
was their best game in terms of
easily
in terms. I will say that's probably the biggest optimism I took from this game. I thought, and it was probably all based on like big splashy plays, but the Watson Trent,
that was nice.
Oh god, that was freaking nice. And then obviously the scoop and score where Riley Van Poppel just absolutely started that play by absolutely blowing his guy up and blindsiding. It was such a fun play to watch. I really enjoyed that. Like those are the plays I hadn't seen yet against anyone. They were Petshot got all of them right against Akron. Nobody else was getting those against Akron.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think I probably came away and it might not make a whole lot of sense because of who the opponent was, but a little more excited, to be honest, about the front seven than I have been yet this year, just because they just looked really good today. And again, that might have been about the opponent, but I thought Watson Trent, Watson Trent, Lineri, I already said it, McCullough, right? Trying to think who else showed out a couple of times. Van Poppel, as I mentioned, right. Judy had a couple of good plays. They barely played though, so they had the backups in so fast on defense. I mean, goodness sakes. Rex Guthrie was in. I think he must have led the team in tackles. I got to think he had so many tackles. He was in I
think he had 6. I think is what I heard Buford, on Overreaction today.
Did he? Buford didn't hardly play. Once again, I watched an entire game and never saw Sierra Wright. It's amazing. I do. Sometimes I wonder if Sierra Wright's even there.
Third straight. Did you hear the stat, Jack, on Overreaction? Third straight game where the team threw for fewer than 100 yards. That is the first time that has happened since the 3 games that opened the 1990 season. You got to go back 35 years to find Nebraska's defense holding 3 consecutive teams to fewer than 100 yards. And I don't think that will happen, but Jack, there is a world where it happens again next week. There is a world.
Josh, if they could get a pass rush, this defense can get really dangerous really fast.
Absolutely. Especially with the running quarterback, and they finally ran Underwood today.
I don't have a doubt.
Central Michigan.
I don't have a doubt about that. I don't have huge doubts about that secondary. Like Singleton, Sierra Wright.
They're going against a team that doesn't have really good skill guys on the outside. I'm excited to watch some more Michigan over the course of the next few days, but that was my takeaway from certainly the Oklahoma game. But the first 2 was, yikes, do they have those types of dudes at wide receiver? And I think that the answer was no.
Yeah. If you want to get down in the nitty gritty, then, John Holt kicked another ball out of bounds. That the 3rd this year.
It's time to, I think, not have him do kickoffs anymore because that is something
all the other ones were
do
good after that. But
yeah,
you didn't punt, so who knows? I mean, unbelievable. Can you imagine coming from around the world for 3 games and 2 of them you don't get to see a punt? It's just unbelievable. And then they bring him in. They bring him in for the last play, and I thought like they brought Archie in for that.
So
last
I missed
play.
this. I was getting on my plane, and so I have not watched.
I had
the last
left.
2 plays
I'm listening on the radio. So I'm listening to Kyle and Damon on the radio, and they bring Archie in, and they didn't know. They're like, "What are they going to do?" Because they were at, I don't know what yard line they were at, like the 15 or 20 yard line, and I wanted so bad for them to have him punt it like out of the stadium. That would have been the greatest thing for his parents. Kick it out of the South Stadium into the parking lot. Right.
This one's for you, Mom and Dad.
This one's for you out of there. A punt from the 20-yard line or whatever it was. They probably didn't want to screw up his stats, but I thought that's what they were going to do. I was very disappointed they didn't.
Anything else, Jack, from this game as we get ready for Michigan? I know we've already been talking about Michigan for a few minutes, but is there anything else from this game in particular that we have not hit on that we would like to hit on?
I mean, okay. I mean, man, it was so good, but I don't really want to be negative. But like, I was hoping I would come away from this me like one of the backup running backs. Ives had a good game, I think, but
yes, he did.
Some of his runs didn't like. I mean,
yeah.
This is not hit. He didn't do anything wrong. It was just some of his big runs in the second half. It looked like that defense did not want to be there. Yeah, like they came out in the second half and they were done.
Well, it was
D'Lo
just dropped a GIF that I think is very fair for how I feel. He is not the most fleet of foot. The most fleet.
I mean, he had like 80 yards running and like 15 yards walking. So like, I mean, it was, it was, but there's a purpose for that kind of a play. I was hoping you would come away. And did Nelson not play? What was there something with that? Did he?
One of my friends asked me if he'd played. Oh wait, you're talking about Mekhi? He did not play. No. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Carter. Did you see Carter?
No, Carter was in the slot. He was in the slot a couple of times.
Okay, I missed him out there.
Not a lot, but he was out. They put him basically in the Janiron Bonner spot, which I think what they're going to do.
The way that Rule said that he answered the Mekhi Nelson question made it seem like he got in trouble this week.
Man, that's a bad time for him to get in trouble.
Yeah, seriously,
man.
Like finally getting healthy.
Dude. He could have been in there and solidified himself because they're really still not using Mosey as a running back. So
yeah, he's kind of gone back to wide receiver.
I mean, it's kind of like Kenneth from Morley is the third running back.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there. By the way, there's some discourse in the chat right now about what's going on with Sharon Moore. What is happening with him? So obviously he is suspended for the game.
Yeah,
but I believe it was starting today at midnight. He had to leave the team. So he was with the team this whole week. Starting at midnight, he had to leave. He is now gone from the team over the course of the whole next week. So he will not prepare. He will. I don't honestly. I mean, you say that. You say that as a joke. My guess is he would get in trouble if that were to happen. That said, I mean, when has that ever stopped?
Yeah. Okay.
Michigan,
he will follow the rules, so I'm not worried about that. Obviously,
yeah. But he is not supposed to, and he certainly will not be at the facility. So, and he will not be on the sideline. So I mean that is something in Nebraska's favor, right? Like, look, he's not Harbaugh. This is not losing Jim Harbaugh. But that's got to hurt them to some degree.
Of course. I mean, they did it today. They did it today without him, and they won big.
Yes, but that's because they were playing Central Michigan today.
I mean, New Mexico beat UCLA, so I guess I shouldn't say anything bad about the Lobos. But yeah, it's what we talked about this morning, Josh. Like, Nebraska is getting the benefit of the doubt on a couple of things, and are just kind of lucky on a couple of things. You know, true freshman quarterback, a team that took not a bad loss, but took a loss already in the season. No head coach. There's a lot of things that make this not what it looked like a year ago in terms of this matchup.
Riss asks, why is he suspended this week and not week 1? So you
got to choose, right?
They chose this. This was like an offering to the NCAA. They self-imposed this, as Rob points out. And they wanted him to coach the Oklahoma game. And so why not do
good choice?
So he coached the first 2 games, and then they did games 3 and 4. And she follows up. Why pick this game? It is very odd. Yeah, and Ben says it. LOL, they aren't scared of us at all. That is certainly one way to view this, and I think that that's a very fair way to view this.
How many games is it?
Just 2. So he's today and then next week, and then
so there's probably not
another one next. He's not able to do the Germany game next year.
So
I try. That'll be.
They probably didn't want to do 2 conference. Here's why they probably didn't want to do 2 conference games, and they probably didn't want to do Oklahoma. So
correct. Yeah.
So that left. It had to be. It could have either been.
But why didn't they do game 1 and 3? Why didn't they do the opener and then today?
I guess I don't know. I thought they had to be. I think for some reason I was thinking they had to be consecutive, but I don't know.
But again, they did this themselves. This is inventing
they wrote
a game
it themselves.
with your brother and then saying, but you broke the rules. But you invented the rules. You're allowed to do whatever you want. These are
even Michigan. Michigan wouldn't even want to break their own rules. They're so passionate about rules.
Wow.
If you want to talk about a school that loves rules. They won't break rules that others write or they write. Not a rule that's out there. When they get a mattress and it's like, don't rip this tag off, Michigan's like, I'm not ripping that tag off. No way.
Hey, what about this from D'Lo? If Rule thinks Akron trying is disrespectful, what will he think about Michigan choosing the Nebraska game for their head coach to skip? Yeah, he was able to twist the Akron attempt at a score at the end of the first half as they disrespect you and they think you suck. What will he do when, hey, Michigan's literally suspended their coach for this game? They think you suck.
Hey, I got all on. A couple of things on that. Number one, I got all on the Matt Rule train. Houston Christian passed the ball with 2 minutes left in the first half. Oh. And I was screaming at their sideline.
They disrespect you.
You're going to come into our house and pass the ball in the second quarter? Down 30 whatever points, offensive, very offensive.
Very offensive.
It's a joke, but he's right. It's time. You did it against Akron, and I loved it, and I gave Rule his kudos for that. Get after the team you're playing. You better do that against this team. You better get that team fired up and disliking Michigan, and I'd be glad to help.
Interesting.
I'm no Jason Peter, but I am
in more ways than one.
I am willing to come in anytime and do kind of a clinic on reasons to like different Big Ten teams.
Jack, that's reminding me that we haven't done the Jack Mitchell Edges segment that we were going to do for every Saturday, where you start imagining, we got to somebody remind us next Saturday to bust that out where Jack pictures and describes
Saturday morning.
Yeah, because what
we
you
can
did
talk
that
about
on unsportsmanlike conduct at some point.
I went through. You told me it was the door 1, door 2 thing, and I gave you. I gave you my Jalen was the top touchdown passer in the nation through 4 weeks as a backup, which is almost happening with Latif weirdly. But anyhow, yeah.
So let's all remember that on Saturday that Jack needs to describe what would make for an absolute perfect day of Husker football.
Let me set up this week's discussion. Okay.
Okay.
It's kind of in the spirit of what you were saying. We haven't done. If they do it, how big put it in context for me. How big is it if they do it? Okay. And if you need to compare, I don't know if you need to compare to another game, if you can just explain it on its own, what would you say?
That's a great question. Because everyone's going to compare it. And for the record, I've already pre-written my Husker Max column for tomorrow. I just have to have my wife, she's my editor, proofread it. And my wife. At some point in there, I bring up that if they win next week, it would be the first ranked win since 2016. Of course, everybody knows that is against Oregon. So I feel like that's low-hanging fruit to say it would be that. No, it would not. It's
bigger than that. It's a conference game, and it's after a decade of hell. So it's bigger than the Oregon game.
So the last ranked win before Oregon was Michigan State. That was a bad Nebraska team. So that also
fun,
does not,
but very different.
Fun, enjoyable, beat a playoff team. But they were 3-6. It made them 4-6. It was a bad football team. All right. So the previous ranked win before that I don't know what it would have been before that, Jack. For sure, the 2014 Miami game would come up in terms of monumental wins.
Miami wasn't ranked, I don't think.
They were not ranked. Now it was a nice win, but it was also, again, not a conference win. And so the reason that I'm kind of just going through some of these games right now in the Rolodex is to show, in terms of a monumental win for the program big picture and conference win at the same time, you're going back a ways. Alex brings up 2010 Mizzou and 2011 Michigan State. Matt brings up 2009 against Oklahoma.
All good ones. Those that trio is what that would feel like. I agree on all three of those.
I like this from Ryan. He says, I think it'd be akin to Nebraska winning the 2009 Big 12 title, taking the next step as a program. Yeah, Jack, is this a poor man's version of that? Because at the time, next step meant breaking through the ceiling and getting a conference title again. And that was the world that Nebraska lived in essentially the entirety under Bo. They needed big wins, and those big wins needed to mean something for literal hardware. Nebraska's not in that conversation right now. So what they need, though, is a win that will move them forward. And this is a game that has the chance to move them forward. And so I do kind of like some of these comparisons that we are seeing right now, even if those ones meant more hardware-wise than this one will, because it's also the fourth game of the year, and Michigan is, barely inside the top 25.
I like that Oklahoma game. And here's especially why I like it, because that was a game where Oklahoma, although, very revered at the time, they were a power, but they had Landry Jones starting at quarterback. And so they had sort of a little bit of Nebraska had a little luck on their side going into it as well. That's a good comparison. The Matt O'Hanlon interception game against Oklahoma.
Yeah. Because that meant a lot.
Yeah. And it felt huge. It felt huge at the time to me. I was, and it was a team.
And it was.
It was, and obviously it was Oklahoma, but yeah, Michigan kind of feels like the Oklahoma of the Big Ten,
And here's where maybe we can take this a step further. That Oklahoma was a step back from the Oklahoma that they had been, but it did not diminish how important it was to get that win. This Michigan is a step back from not last year, but 2 years ago and 3 years ago and 4 years ago. And certainly the last two times that Nebraska has played Michigan, they have gotten absolutely destroyed.
Yep.
The 2022 game in the rain where Mark Whipple literally got destroyed on the sideline. And then Matt Rule's fifth game ever as a head coach at home when they also got destroyed. So, I like that comparison because it's a blue blood, it's a name brand, it's a conference team. It's a little step back from where they have been recently, but golly, it would just be so big for the program to be able to get and to move forward. And Jack, just you don't have to answer the questions anymore about it, just like after they beat Oklahoma in 2009, you didn't have to answer the questions about, can you beat Oklahoma? Can they beat a school like this that recruits as well as this, X, Y, and Z? You beat Michigan no matter what state they are in. It answers that question of, can they do this? Are they able to get a win over a team like this version of
Michigan? Yeah, because Oklahoma in 08, the year before, they're 12-1, right? I'm looking at my phone because I'm going back and looking at it. So
08 Oklahoma lost. Yeah, they lost in the national championship. That team was really good.
Florida, right?
Correct.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 2 years with Michigan.
2 years, but very similar.
And they're not the same as they were then. And they also have some different handicaps. That's the best combo by far.
Yeah.
By far.
Mike writes on YouTube with a super chat. Hopefully it doesn't feel like 2016 Wisconsin or Ohio State. Well, those are two different possibilities, but yes.
Ohio State, I didn't expect to win. That was like if everything goes wildly right, it could.
And Ohio State forgot to get off the bus.
Wisconsin. 2016 Wisconsin's not a bad comparison either. It was on the road.
There's two things that are hard to kind of fit the exact puzzle we're trying to create right now. On the road, and that Wisconsin team was in the top 10, whereas again this Michigan team is not in that. But it is a top 25 win, and Jack, I don't know if we can say enough about how important it is for Matt Rule to get this particular monkey off of his back. Last year, it was last year, game 4. So it's literally the week that we are entering into when Nebraska played on a Friday night. It was September 20th, 2024, when Nebraska played on a Friday night. And Illinois came into town. And I remember saying, it is not important for me at this point in time for them to get the ranked win thing going just yet. I wanted them to beat Illinois just because they needed to beat Illinois and prove that they're continuing to climb. The ranked component of it, though, I didn't really care about that. I do now. And I said that at the moment. I said, I don't care just yet, but I will at some point in time. We have reached that spot now. We have reached a spot where you cannot continue losing to ranked teams. And especially a team on the edge of the top 25. They are not playing Penn State tomorrow. Like, there's been all this conversation in the chat tonight, and there will be over the next week about this team and how good are they and how good are they. This Michigan is not Ohio State. They are not Penn State. They are certainly not Oregon. They aren't Georgia or Tennessee. Like, they are a diminished version of themselves. It's time to take advantage of that. Like, they have to win the game, if anything, because of those types of things. They have to do that. They have to get a win like this. It's time.
They're a top 25 team, and Nebraska wants to take their place, basically exactly where they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, yeah. But it's we say all that. We say all of those things, but man, I do this sometimes, and I'm not saying this with the season. This is for Matt Rule, though. Because Matt Rule's, if he wins that, and it's mainly on the positive side, if he wins that game on the stage that it's on, when he's already sort of got, because he's done such a good job with his own PR and everything else, he's on, he's on ESPN every week, all of those things. He's on Pat McAfee. He is really going to become a darling really quickly. And because of that, Nebraska will. Like all of a sudden, Nebraska will no longer be under the radar. Not under the radar isn't the right word. It will be unnoticed because they suck,
Yeah. Oscar from you says Michigan is the definition of a 20 to 25th ranked team, but their identity and strengths are poised to exploit our weaknesses. Yeah, and like that's the thing. They are a much more proven program. That's for damn sure.
But that's why I love the Oklahoma comparison, because I don't know what that team was ranked, and with Landry Jones playing, I don't know what they should have been ranked. But even though it's a 20 to 25th rated team, it feels bigger. It feels like more than that because of the helmet, right?
They were Jack. You ready for this? They were 20th.
Yeah, it's the
comparisons.
That's the comparison. Well. That's the comparison, and they were because who was supposed to be the quarterback? Was that Thompson? Who was the quarterback?
No, it was supposed to be Bradford again, but he got hurt in the opener that year.
Yeah, Bradford got hurt.
He got hurt literally in the first game of the season, and it completely changed their trajectory the whole rest of the year. Because they opened the year number 3 against BYU. He got hurt. They lost. They lost to Miami. They lost to Texas.
Prince and Mukamura have a huge pick in that game too. I mean, I know.
Yes, he did. He I believe it was the interception that led to Nebraska's lone touchdown of the entire game.
Do you know whose tickets I used for that game and I bought for that game? Adrian Fiala sold me his tickets for that game. Yeah, it's a fun story.
Oh, Adrian.
It's actually a pretty extensive story, but yeah.
Oh wait, you know what? I think you might have told this story.
He got mad at me because I tried to negotiate with him.
Yes,
I tried to negotiate with Adrian on the price he offered. I don't remember what he offered me, but you know me, Josh. I try and negotiate stuff quite a bit.
Yes.
Which has helped the I-80 club for a few situations. I offered him.
No, not with StreamYard. Come on, StreamYard, help us out.
I offered him a lower price and he didn't. He said no, and then I talked about it on the radio.
And he got pissed.
He was pissed at me.
I forgot about that.
He was like, "There's some things that are not for the air." And I had been in radio for like 3 years. And
you were still a youngster.
I was like, "Oh man, I was a lot less."
You were younger than I am now,
dude. I was 32. Yeah.
Wow. You were younger than Happer is now. Wow. Think about that. You were just a young boy on the radio, giving his. Saying, I love talking about politics. Politics are so fun. This is a great
2009. What could do it with?
Everything's great. Everything's great in society.
Everything's great. Well, except for the economy right now. But it'll allow me to buy this house in a few months.
Yeah. Look at this. I'm going to do a podcast out on the front lawn someday, and you're like, what's a podcast? And what's YouTube? Shows on YouTube.
Nobody has showed up to my party, but look at the setup. Look at this.
That's amazing.
Got the games on there.
You were outside and you could have just been inside the entire time with better internet.
I invited people to come at 7. Then I was like, I'll be doing my show, but you can come, hang out and watch games. I got the game on over. Like I got my quad screen there. Nice. Look how beautiful it is.
Hey,
So
we haven't
nice.
mentioned any of the other games. Did you watch the heartbreaker? Do you know what happened with Tennessee, right? You
No, I
saw
don't even know
this
what. I have no idea what happened.
Jack, they were up by 8 late in the fourth. Georgia had 4th and something. Their quarterback, Gunnar Stockton, drops an absolute freaking dime. Then they get the 2-point conversion. Tennessee goes down the field, and so there are 7 seconds left in regulation. And they are going to run one more play to tick time off and call a timeout because Georgia's out of timeouts. Their left guard moves, so they have to go back 5 yards. Then they just send the kicker out. He shanks it terribly. He wouldn't have made it even if they were 5 yards closer. They eventually kick a field goal in overtime. First play, Georgia gets down inside the 5. They scored like 3 plays later. Ball game. Absolute brutal loss.
They
for
thought they were
Tennessee.
going to have the Alabama celebration again with Josh Heupel, the whole Josh Heupel moment. Wow.
Yes. It was awful.
Oklahoma quarterbacks.
Yeah. It was really, really terrible. And then I assume you saw it earlier. Clemson goes down to Georgia Tech.
I did see that. I didn't see exactly how it happened, but
shout out to those of us who never bought into Clemson this offseason.
Shout out to me and you.
Yeah, we're feeling pretty good today, Jeff.
Man,
we're feeling pretty good.
This season, I don't want this to end. Like I said, I want to play Doan next week. I'm not ready for Michigan. Like winning huge, watching other people's pain. And the pain, the schadenfreude of some of these teams that are just sucking it's great. It's so nut. Kansas State, that's a delight. Colorado, that's a freaking delight, obviously. Who else? Like Clemson, that's a delight. UCLA,
awesome.
That's kind of fun. Texas a little bit, that's fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
This
Florida, they could lose again tonight, Jack, and be 1-2. That'd be pretty funny.
That'd be pretty funny. Like,
yeah.
I'm not ready. I could do another couple of weeks of FCS teams and watching other people lose. I really could.
Matt says, but what if Nebraska wins? Are you ready for that?
Oh, I mean, I will just say, 1 week from right now, this show is going to be a little different. We are either going to be
in our bag, Jack. We're either going to be in our bag having a great time, or you are going to be arguing to death with people. There's no in between. No in between.
Shout out to Brendan. Thank you for the super chat. All Reds looked cool. They looked cooler than I liked them for nostalgia, but not for the look. And then they came out, and I was like,
they look kind of cool.
I think I like those.
Jack, was there something about the red in the 80s that wasn't as good as the red today?
I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. I don't know. Alternate uniforms weren't a thing then, though, right? You didn't change your look, and now they change their look all the time, and they've overchanged it. And so, there was something nice about keeping sort of the infrastructure of the uniform with the double stripes on the sleeves.
Yep.
And I like that they're doing that with the black uniforms too. Like this is kind of, I sort of like it's just changing colors a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly am really liking this more than 15 years of most of the alternates, to be honest, what they're doing this year.
I was surprised at how good they looked on TV because every time I've seen highlights, and this is the time I see Delo's typing, he's going to say 86 Oklahoma, the worst loss. Everybody should watch it. It is homework. It is mandatory. I will make this promise to you, Josh. We will watch the 86 Oklahoma game next summer in Be Kind Husker Rewind. Everybody says we are too positive. We don't do enough stuff that is negative or focusing on losses. So we will watch a loss next summer for everybody. All that to say, just kidding, of course. Every time I see highlights from that game, I'm like, man, they look so ugly. I liked them today. I thought they looked pretty cool. I really did. I couldn't believe how much I liked them.
I just think they hit different in 2025. And this is stupid, but I think they look better in the day. Is that possible? I think that's true, too.
Because wasn't it dark and rainy when they played Oklahoma in 86? Or it
wasn't rainy. It was dark.
It was dark. Okay.
I think it was pretty. I don't think it was that cold that night.
Yeah.
So.
Sam wants to know, did Jack hear that Spencer Tillman referred to Oklahoma as the Big Red of the South today?
Someone tagged me in a tweet and mentioned that. So I did see that, which is funny. Speaking of 1986 Oklahoma, which is funny. Spencer Tillman was on that team.
Yep, he was indeed. Have people started showing up? Your eyes seem to be wandering.
No, my wife just came out and brought some of the food out. So no, I don't think anybody is here. Did anybody come? Oh, Amy's here. Oh, people are inside. They can come out.
That's all. They don't want to bother you. You're doing a podcast.
Amy Just is here.
Amy
Just is inside my house.
On the pod?
Oh no, should I bring her in?
Wait, is she just covering volleyball? Did she just leave the volleyball match?
I don't know. Lincoln and Jeff are coming. I don't know. There's a lot of people who drop everything they're doing and come. I don't know,
What?
but I
No,
don't
but
ask,
okay, settle down.
I don't
feel
ask
like
questions.
wow. No, it was more because the match didn't end that long ago. So I'm surprised that she's already there.
I don't know. I don't know she was here till 10 seconds ago.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I didn't think anyone was here. I thought they came. I thought they were going to come out here and watch football over here. I'm glad people are coming though. That's good because I did a lot.
Yeah, I was worried that this was going to be like one of those birthday parties where nobody shows up.
I don't think it's going to. I think there's going to be a lot of people here. I think.
You think so?
I think my garage parties are pretty legendary.
All right. Well, my wife is listening, and so maybe she'll say, "Let's go. Let's pick up and go to Lincoln tonight."
Dude, you got 2 hours until the fight. Go get a hotel.
I'm going to be
hotel.
No, I'm done with hotels.
Book
I'm so
a
done with
hotel.
hotels.
Get an Airbnb.
No, I'm done. No, I'm just done. I want to sleep in my bed. I want my bed tonight. I'm so ready for my bed. I'm so ready for my bathroom. Jack, I went to the bathroom at the hotel I was at in Bloomington.
Please tell us more about that.
No, it smelled like feet in there. I'm not saying I went to the bathroom. I'm saying I walked into the bathroom and it smelled like feet. It smelled so bad.
It's weird that a bathroom smelled bad.
Okay, jeez. Ryan says you can stay at mine. All right, I guess I'm staying at Ryan's house.
Yeah, but there's a I-80 member. I mean, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Rails Girl says that I stole her joke. What joke did I steal? I don't even know what joke I stole. Holy shit! Virginia's Tech is down 28-0 to Old Dominion.
Dude, that was my upset of the week on the tailgate show. Boom, 2 points. Let's go. Pew 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 pew.
That is not great. That is not great. All right, Jack.
Volleyball must have won because the girls are up and doing stuff now, so the volleyball game must be over.
Yeah, I put a tweet in the chat a little bit earlier. Dude, John Cook did an interview on the court post match. It's just so weird. Like seeing him holding a microphone, like asking.
He was doing the play-by-play. I listened to a little bit of it. That was interesting.
So weird. So weird.
Nora, do you want to come be on the show? Here. Yeah, everybody knows Nora. Here we go. Nora, give us a report. Give us a report on the volleyball game.
It was good.
Okay. It was good. Nice.
A lot of the backups played.
A lot of backups.
No, sounds like the football game today.
All right, there you go. From the volleyball fan.
That's some good boots on the ground journalism. Fan on the ground journalism from your dog.
All right. This is a fun show, guys. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. We will be back. Josh, is it Wednesday? We're Wednesday this week, yes?
We're back on Wednesday. The schedule the next couple of days. We'll have Volleyball State live tomorrow night for patrons only at 7 o'clock. So hope that you join Lincoln and Jeff for that one. There will be a Big Ten breakdown coming up Monday morning. Ben Stevens will give his breakdown on the entire weekend that was. Also, Jack, USC is very much playing with their food right now in West Lafayette. That game had like a 3.5-hour rain delay. And they are only up by 10 points right now on Purdue, so they're not playing very good. Anyway, that's Monday. Tuesday is when Nebraska is playing Creighton. Never mind, up 23-10. They're playing Creighton, and so there will be a volleyball late that night. You and I will have a pod on Wednesday night. There will be another football show on Thursday. There will be another Big Ten breakdown on Friday. And then, coffee show. And next week's After Nebraska Football tentatively is scheduled for 8:30. I am doing Big Red Overreaction, so we will do that when I get home. And, Jack, next week is when we finally get into doing 90-minute shows, normal time slot. We're having a good time.
If they win, time doesn't matter. Time is just a construct of losers, and we're winners, and it would not matter. We'll start whenever I want to. We'll go as long as I want to. We'll go as long as anyone wants to. It's going to be a party.
So we'll have all of that coming up over the next week. So basically a pod a day. Very much would appreciate a like and a subscribe on the way out. If you're listening on the podcast feed after the fact, you can give us a rating and review on whatever podcast app you have. And as always, patreon.com/I80 Club if you would like access to all that we have to offer. Jack, enjoy the fight tonight.
I'm excited. Go, Bud. Do it. Go, Bud. Let's do it. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you on Wednesday.
All right. For Jack, I'm Josh. Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.